We talk about the fight generally, the corona fight, how we don't deal with her.
Well, frankly, I must make a declaration, say, I deal with the case management pillar, not the COVID response, but I know they are on behalf of the national COVID response. And this now because they get their own system of communication. So they are purposely, more or less, for provide me own expert advice. But generally, we all know what they go on in terms of the response. For some time, we don't see restrictions of movement because we know say this now an infection. An infection no get foot for worker outside maybe the body, but it can only do that if somebody take them for one point to another. So she say so many times government on they put a lot of restrictions, external restrictions where they make people not come out, come, then in between, even within, and now get a lockdown where they restrict most people from where they not come out of their homes when absolutely necessary. So these are part of the things that we government they do. And also in any country, because we didn't have the wall of what we call imagine and reimagine infections. Infections that we get tendency for go and come on and off. Corona na one. Corona, this particular one will get so is an emerging infectious disease. It's not been there, but inside December, now we get them. So as a result, continent they tend for prepare themselves. So after the Ebola epidemic, the government established what we call an emergency operations center. So it was activated when this response, they go on try for activate different components of them. And they don't more or less enlarge and capacitate them more for able to respond adequately to the outbreak. So various support structures then they inside it, we then call pillars. So then they all man they do your own. The lab they do your own. The case management they treat people we not suspect. They treat people we get corona and also deal with other issues we get for do with the medical conditions of people. So then they in the other side. They want to fend people we possibly go down come in contact with people who get corona and try for see how then they put them some side for prevent them, may they not give other people until they're able to confirm say indeed they get or they not get take appropriate decision.
So as we look at the 3 days lockdown where we did today, day 2 inside the second rounds of the three days lockdown. So some people them believe say this 3 days lockdown not do for the kind way where they feel say the sick they scatter, then they ask for 14 days. But somebody will get this expert this knowledge but virus them and you there this morning for help people and for understand. This 3 days lockdown, it gets any effect like for slow down the spread of the virus?
Frankly speaking, I'm not going to say no when I not get scientific evidence, like for assess within an impact as to whether it gets any effect. It might have an effect. But when you look at the virus, we get what we call an incubation period. If somebody come in contact with person, you get the virus. From the time we come in contact them, to the time where the infection establishes itself inside the body. So now we call incubation period. And then they can show with symptoms, or at times they not can show with symptoms, but the virus already they don't establish itself. For this particular virus, now 14 days. So if you are for fetam, the minimum way they try for prevent people and may not interact between themselves, it will be 14 days. That's the least period of time where scientifically they get that impact where they will get for make people not interact with themselves. But of course, when they do that thing and some people and believe say the repercussion might be much. Now some people and they now host then sick. Their movement might be very restricted. It's difficult for them to go to hospital, and might even get more death as a result of this corona, not directly but indirectly. There are also the aspect of social services, like people when they talk about water business, they talk about electricity, food. So probably the government take into consideration all those ones. But scientifically, what is standard is if we give a minimum of 14 days. And even that is not optimal. So, follow able for contain the outbreak.
As you say earlier, this na new sick way, like the first time where it comes so where it go na China also it starts. All the country them outside on there now, people still a battle for able for contain them, for let them go able for done with them, because no country not the way boast say them be able for control them as they get them, because the resources then where it take for do all of that now being challenged. Now we'll look at the general response na Salone, the acceptance first from the people them. One of the health expert them, you feel say Salone people really don't sign up and don't agree say they're ready for do waiting the well body workman and they ask we all for do for let we go tap the spread of this virus?
Yeah. I agree with you. When you see an epidemic, sometimes you get tendency for overwhelm existing structures. So even if you get a powerful health system, it might take you time for like orient the health system for able to respond to them. And I don't think they will see, I don't consider we get powerful health infrastructure like China. Take them time for able to orient to this one. And now they say disaster. So it overwhelmed the health system. So Salone not an exception to this. It's a for style for the purpose, new health infrastructure for able for container. But of course, we get some legacy from the Ebola. When you look at what they happen in other country, people know about some aspect of hand washing. They know things like about restriction, because this not the first experience is what people they get. And then they seem for help a lot in terms of public education. But also, whatever the case, we get social structures there where they affect we, for my own opinion. For example, people can go for going to market. And when you reach these marketplaces, you find out that one of the key interventions for prevent this infection, what they call social distancing, it not be practiced at all. And this is what you need. For law we avoid ourselves to a particular distance, radius, where they make sure say, I am protected and you are protected. And also, the government come up with a policy encouraging people for let them use face mask. But they say there is a gross misuse of face mask. Some man, they take face mask, he hang on neck. They talk, they play with them. Some man, they take, they make her like shades, like spectacle. He put on her forehead. Some man, they play with him out. So the value of it is affected when we are taking those interventions like that, where they use face mask this way.
So is that the right way? Is that the right way for use the face mask?
So like, I believe say like where you put on so, they play with them. We don't do so, we don't do so. If you think say there is a need for like remove them, like even maintain adequate social distancing. I mean like so you do a particular distance, I'm not able to touch you. He said not able to touch me. So that make an adequate social distancing. He can pull them. He put her some side, like a plastic bag or an envelope. And for begin they play with them. The way don't do it for maintain hand hygiene. Hand hygiene, either you wash your hand or you apply what they call an alcohol-based hand rub. For the hand becomes sterile. So we don't pull out, you do that. They can continue with other activities.
We also see some people they in our streets, then get this locally made where they encourage people for use now this more than they use with this fabric. People they sell them. Some man will see the test and first. If you know fit, I pull out, put on down and take other one. This advisable for do during this period?
It is not. It's not advisable for making begin test them. I make the advice people and they say, okay, use cotton. And if you don't do and so, you know wash them, no form of sterilization, then it will be a problem. Where other person take them back, we can test. So potentially, if the person talk on that and they get COVID, now the way people then get tendency for transmit this tumor, what they call coronavirus. So it's not advisable at all. Then practices there.
So doctor, they say where you pull the mask now your face, like you put them down.
Yes.
Before you put them back now your face, you will make sure say that and day you don't wash them or sterilize them, like you say.
Yes.
Because that means say sometimes you don't go play with something where go come back and affect the very mask they use.
Yes. Yes. So now that I mean the reason why would they say frequent hand washing or application of alcohol-based hand rub, Now, because the way this tumor is spread, we say na respiratory infection. Like why talk, why sneeze, why cough. So you don't already apply a mask for prevent that process there. But you also get tendency for spread by contact. Where is the contact with church? So if you use a mask, you pull that mask there. Sometimes when you use the mask for at that time, somebody can't talk near you. You put droplets. The way they pull them, pull them from his string. Or even if you pull them from his string, you touch them. You might touch the virus during the process. So if you not apply hand hygiene at that particular moment, you get tendency for also acquire the infection where they try for prevent. So this is not the reason we make it say, let's use the mask properly. If we not able to use the mask properly, then it means the mask not necessary for use at all.
Using the mask properly, we see one video where they go around where some people they wash this disposable mask. What you need the advice in terms of us one pan the mask them where they use double, us one you go use you wash and you use them back, or us one where you use them you for two away.
So frankly, we dey in a situation of desperation. Then go tell you say under normal circumstances, even within the hospital setting, there are masks that we know they use for more than 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, then they become moist. They get tendency for absorb even some of the particles that way they try for prevent. So the masks then they call a surgical mask. Then within 30 minutes, if I just take I dispose of her appropriately, that it wear them appropriately. But with the desperation and the unavailability of resources, people and they continue for use for a very long time because of limited resources. Like some people, they go to them call N95 mask. An N95 mask, now mask we get more efficiency for prevent better infection. And then in the case of TB, for example, you can use them for let's say drug-resistant TB. You can use them at least 12 hours a day for 7 to 14 days. It's still applicable. So you find out that before this COVID, when you go to the MDR, that's a drug-resistant tuberculosis centers there. Then center there for the dry cough, we're not immense. So people can pull out and label them, they reuse them. But here we get a situation in which we get a new virus. We don't understand where they go on. People then they say, oh, this mask, then they know they work for long for this particular virus. Some man not able to do a structured study, so the evidence is lacking. But because the evidence is lacking, so it's difficult for you say not this and this. But people also they look say if you use cotton, you sew cotton lapper, they use it as mask, it work. It not they work rich when you use that mask when they use in the hospital.
That kind way they use so.
Like this one they use so. No, not at all. Not they work rich so. Sometimes the effectiveness for like prevent the infection now like 30%. Not even reach up to 50. But it's better than nothing. Now make sometimes at the system people and get the false interpretation. Like why they use masks now, not they maintain social distancing. Why they use masks and not they maintain other forms of prevention. I think say that practice they're not good. As much as possible, couple different forms of practices together. So you're able to protect yourself as much as possible. The mask might protect you, it might not protect you, because you're not 100%. Even this one is 95%, a minimum of 95%.
Okay.
This one we're not the most efficient, what they call N95 respirator.
So doctor, I be watch one video where one doctor in America they explain say the best way you can test your mask if it's good, you say if you put flame before you, if you able to blow 'em out, then they mean say the mask not good. I don't know if you can able to explain nothing at all.
Frankly, I don't get knowledge on that. Ideally, there are more scientific ways where you're not going to do it for yourself. I'm not sure how that works, and if it works, what type of mask we more or less that's applicable to, because it's possible that the material will be used, but we not get knowledge on that, and I'm not going to be able to contest that evidence in any form.
Okay, now doctor, let me talk about the signs and symptoms, because this is very important now. We know say we don't come on sick then. I mean the thing for one body I remember all the sick malaria, some person get asthma, where they get difficulty in breathing and all that. Now this sick don't can now. It don't can confuse people then. So how person go know say this kind sign way I get so corona, me and corona don't they keep comping now. The signs and symptoms.
Yeah. So if I can give a premise to this One Lay Foundation, this tumor we then call coronavirus, it affect the airway. The side outside with the blow this air where they go take right inside. Before, in fact, in the 60s, all around them they will predominantly then gets predilection for the upper part. So then mostly they affect the upper part of the airway. So then they cause things like common cold, where mostly people and they see common cold at least once a year. So, but this new one, they believe say you don't get a tendency for go deep down, because now they in the mouth where they use for enter the body they. Now the mouth what they call a receptor. So they attracted to that and they enter the body. So they go deep down, and then it might get tendency for cause different manifestations. So because of this, people that will get this particular sick, at times they not get no symptoms. This are the patterns therefore we observe mostly in Salone among the patients them. They know they show nothing. I know they feel unwell in any way. But some people and they get symptoms. Then they get what we refer to as mild symptoms. So the symptoms like they get cough, in body they warm, they sneeze, in nose they stuffy. You find out that these are non-specific symptoms. These are symptoms where they attribute to any particular illness. It can be COVID, it can be different forms of viruses. If you list them, maybe they get over 100 where they cause this same thing. And not just that, it can also sometimes occur as a result of other tumor, they say bacteria. So different things them. Sometimes they even without infection, even without a germ, it can have their manifestations. And they, although Salone will not get what you call a population-based study, that we're not able to assess the population, but we know say this one we will refer to as common cold. We first they cough, they sneeze, in body they warm. These are common symptoms. So you're not able to attribute them to COVID alone. This is where the problem lies. We'll not get any feature who will say, when you see them, this is not COVID, until proven otherwise. It's difficult. However, what we do is we put the incident into what we refer to as a case definition. That we describe them and say with the setting we do, this is not COVID until proven otherwise. Somebody come, he get fever, he cough, he sneeze. We say, oh, this is not COVID. So, 9 incident they manifest itself. If you
now any kind cough?
Oh, if they cough, acute. So usually we focus on acute. We will say cough way acute usually within 2 weeks. You know, TB said they cause cough. So TB more likely for cause cough where they last for 2 weeks or more. So for this one, we say acute cough. So cough, fever, it knows they block. This is not the trend where people then they look at. But before, we say you not go just look this one because it's common. We for tie them to what we call an epidemiologic link. What's in this one? Either somebody get contact with somebody in a confirmed case. You say, we get these symptoms. You don't ever deal with somebody with a cough. You don't ever deal with somebody with a diagnosis of corona. Or you come out from outside, the infection is spread faster, at least within the last 14 days. So now, so we tie them, so we say case definition. We put different features then together for like able to help that clinician, that person where they provide service. We see, you know, say, okay, this is not COVID. But also for like get target something for detection. We're not going to just say, no, all my will get cool and come. So that is the situation in which we are. That is what is general. If we look at the person's symptoms, cough, fever, plus fever with cough or any other thing like sneezing, put it all together, they ask inside the person come out before. They ask the person if you don't contact somebody, we get coronavirus.
Okay, and doctor, when I also get this term, what they say, asymptomatic.
Yes.
This person, they see nothing for them.
Yes.
They show signs and symptoms, but this sick then can say it can still be inside this person here. So
Yeah. So we get a situation where we see very commonly, although it's too early, for now we able to confirm, say yes, indeed that's the pattern. But the pattern we they see, most people are not get symptoms. So that's why they say asymptomatic. But also there are some people that when they come at the time when they test them, they also get symptoms, but over time they might develop symptoms. So that's what they refer to as pre-symptomatic. So we get that situation then. But of course, what we don't do is we categorize the people into a different category. The one that we not get symptoms, or they get mild symptoms, as one group of people. But some man, if they come to you now, we come, if they cough, if they sneeze, if they blow fast in body, they warm. So that one then they say they don't get moderate symptoms. Then some then they come, they sick him on. It is so severe that yes, you might even need for admit them in a hospital setting and provide aggressive form of treatment. Sometimes they go to just a very few percentage of people you even need for admit into what they call an intensive care unit, where they provide very, very critical care. Strict care, sometimes they might need for like you EPAM, for like blue, what they call intubation, or maybe sometimes even oxygen.
So doctor, become medicine no dey it directly where they go say this na medicine for the COVID-19 at this then they give person for let you drink if you sick. Waiting on the well body people and they advise people for the do at this time in terms of waiting and they take as them balanced diet and thing them waiting they eat for keep the system strong because your system they fight the virus.
Yeah, so we get what you call criteria for severity. Things that they make the sick worse in people that they at risk for let the sick worse. So then people that we undernourished, they get tendency for get severe sickness, as they say. But beyond that, age also, they really say now something where they increase the risk for the severity of this particular illness. So a person reach the age of elderly, let's say 65 years or above. People that will get other sick them. Like you get high blood pressure, you get diabetes, you get HIV, you get TB, you get liver problem, kidney problem. So these are all people that we they at risk for this sickness. So therefore, the advice here is that everybody will get anything there for make sure say you control them. If you get diabetes, make sure you take your medicine. Because when the sugar control, the tendency for the system strong, is fine. So similarly, if you eat well, you maintain a good diet and a healthy lifestyle, that also they help you for build your own system, where they say the security system, your defense mechanism. So any infection, not just COVID, but anything we carry inside your body, the body they able for stand firm and prevent them. One, sometimes they may not establish itself, and two, if you establish itself, may not cause severe problems, severe disease. But also, if you're not possible we get HIV, take your medicine. If you take your medicine, fine. That also they help you for strengthen your system. If you get TB, not afraid, go let them test you and begin taking medicine. Because if you take your medicine, if COVID comes inside you, you might be somebody will get the opportunity for withstand them.
okay.
So these are all the things that people also need for learn. Say, Lord not get sick, we hide them. Lord not get sick, they don't say I get this sick, I not agree for taking medicine. Because some of them sick there, they be worsened by the COVID itself.
Yeah, because
and that worsen they get tendency for tilt the person
okay.
into
Doctor, we can't talk more about that because, like how you say, if you get some kind sick and corona come now, your system it meets that sick day, it will pack you quick. Yes. We can't talk more about that. What have you one for? Let we talk about now. We own case na salon. We seem to be lucky in a way because where we say we get positive cases and we don't get people that we survive. Other countries where you say this sick, I know the men where sick case, they pack you. Waiting salon don't do right with them people here survive.
Okay. So frankly, before salon they get this sick, we don't get large information. What is it? Data, information from China. we tell we say if people and get this sick, if the people and get this sick, 80% of them not either get no symptoms, we can say that what we use to say asymptomatic, or they get mild symptoms. My body they warm, or they cough, or they sneeze. So those are things normal people and they make after some time better. So then are 80%. Salon or no salon, the sick in get your natural history. How they go. So then are like 80%. 15% then can get severe one, then the one where they go now very, very severe, then are like 5%. So that pattern they we don't establish in other country. But the pattern actually change over time. It's racial. It depends on the race. The pattern from China, different from maybe what happened in Europe and some part of America. So we don't know which are the other thing the way concomitantly they affect that. But salon, we now put two data together, it's low, and most people we actually know they get symptoms or where they get symptoms. But we seem to forget a large population. A large population where they come, they know they feel nothing. Or if they feel anything, then common symptoms then. Now this, not to like directly an intervention, it might be from different explanation where people then they look at now. Some aspects of our people then they look at external factors. The external factors, like what they say, we don't expose to so many other infections. We don't expose to malaria more frequently, even common cold with other germs the way they cause common cold. We don't expose to them more frequently. We don't expose to different other sickness. And people then believe say the infection then they might don't give you an opportunity for make we body orient itself for fight other sickness. Any other sickness might come in, it is time for lessener. So then call and train immunity. So that train immunity, the people then believe say it helps us as people in Africa. And maybe it's the same thing we applicable in salon. Of course, we're interested for look into that, for see how then they will inform decision for vaccine. But people they also talk about BCG. This vaccine we then they give them picking them for TB, for prevent dry cough. And believe say people who don't get them, that also can serve as a protection against this particular sickness called COVID-19. So some people don't look at so many things, even the humidity, the place warm, viruses, or these viruses, they never withstand a significant amount of temperature. When that happens, you find out that they unbug them. So now make some of them like now then cooler part of the body, like the upper part of the nose, because it's okay for them. So that is the situation. But all these are postulations. As to say, this is now an emerging infection, and an emerging infection requires more scientific assessment. So one key will come up with information where we will say, indeed, amongst the Salonian population, this and this are the things that are protecting us.
You still listen to this large IRN Corona updates where they come to you from different radio stations them all over the country, and that voice the way they listen to just now Dr. Sulaiman Lako idea this morning. They give you advice from the expert angle as in a health professional for let you know waiting the coronavirus debut. In case you get any question for them, send them to the AfriCell number 077-981-981 or go now Radio Democracy 98.1 Facebook page and add your voice to the team them where they look at us. We they continue with this large and IRN Corona update. I come back to Doctor. Where people and then are also earlier somebody been sent question they ask say and now come out gonna treat if you were in a host if it's still for the washing hand frequently on a pass you gonna treat can make you for wash your hand.
Make I reinforce this with the way how the virus they transmit. We get two major routes. Mentioned I say earlier on now respiratory virus. So they come on now we mouth the airway through the mouth, through the nose. And we get what you call droplet transmission. Now just particle, like where somebody sometimes they talk some themselves can be very larger. Then small pizza where they come out. Or sometimes they sneeze, then small and now called particle. Then can be large. So usually then they fall within a meter radius. So if you stretch your hands so now around that area because they're very large. So if something for them, it don't come on at the person nose or in mouth. they get tendency for other person pick up. So another means by which people and they get this particular sickness, now contact. So it's a contact transmission. You can deal with somebody in a house, it might don't come on a street, he not show symptoms. He can't sit down at this table, he talk. He left droplet. He sneezed, he left droplet. So now me could say as much as possible, me could practice hand hygiene. For wasan or apply chemical agents for make sure say the virus die. So irrespective of wherever you are, this particular tumor can contain different surfaces. The doors of the handles of the doors, it contain surfaces of tables, contain chairs, different size. The hand is a common carrier of infection. So apply hand hygiene. But beyond that, before this sick, even some aspects of activities, the way they undertake, either at home or somewhere else, you need for apply hand hygiene. If you don't use the restroom, for example, you for appropriately clean your hand. If you want for cook or you want for play with some different, you have to apply hand hygiene. You want to eat, you get for apply hand hygiene. Hand hygiene in this case, either you wash your hand with soap and water or use a hand sanitizer, now referred to as hand hygiene. So hand hygiene not come by COVID or whether you are restricted. As something way for the part of we at all time. So this now the response this will get to this person.
Okay. All right, so let we look at message MBK so that if concern come with doctor need for response to, he go quickly respond to them before they left in at the studio. This very first one, what they look at from the Facebook page. Lansana Parker they say, we doctor, is it advisable to use Lovina as hand sanitizer to sanitize your hands to protect yourself from the COVID-19 pandemic?
And this message, they say, Doctor, sir, if someone has malaria and typhoid, can the person be treated?
This other one from David Festus Moiwa on the Facebook page. They say, good morning, guys in the studio. Please tell us what is the manure that is taking place after the 3 days lockdown. Okay, I think the person one for no waiting at the measure we go for be after the 3 days lockdown.
Okay, all right. Let's see whose other message they come in now. This one they say is okay. You no need for call the line. We just want for text messages now. It says, sir, is this the only time we can? Well, this person instead keep for the call the line.
All right, other person they ask now, do place it just.
It is keep for the call to explain more about community transmission.
All right, the final one I go look at this time. The person they ask say, I want to know if there is any medicine that has been prescribed for. If not of one we answer. Now for text message, you go
Strictly.
call.
They do very well actually in terms of improving specific medicine for the virus, but with the support